Warning, the following episode of the Blackwell podcast contains spoilers from all episodes of Life is Strange.
Hi, and welcome to the Blackwell podcast, where we love Life is Strange more than Mr. Jefferson wants Max to submit her photo. I am Joey, and as always, I'm here with Jess and Jamie.
Hi.
Hey.
And we have some very special guests with us today. Let's go down the line. We've got Chris, we've got Zach, we've got Nate, we've got Kirk, we've got Mai. Did I forget anybody?
No, you didn't forget anyone.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
Hey,
How's it going?
And they are all here from lifeisstrangefans.com, which we've moved to. We've talked about a little bit. Really, really impressive website. And so this is our first episode with this many guests. So it's something new and exciting. And we are excited to get it. So why don't we start off with just some introductions? I guess, Chris, we'll start with you.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name's Chris Anderson, and I'm the creator and administrator of lifeisstrangefans.com.
Pretty tight.
Ready?
Hey guys, I'm Kirk, one of the counselors on lifeisstrangefans.com.
Welcome. And then Mai.
well, hello. I'm Mike Letty. I'm a moderator in lifeisstrangefans.com. And I am so a counselor there with Kirk.
And we have Nate.
Thanks for the invite.
Oh, thanks for joining us.
Sorry, guys.
Hey guys, I'm Nate, or as some people on the site know me as Dad. I'm a mod and run the site's Tumblr, so be sure to come check us out over there. I'll make them put a link up.
And then Zach.
Hey, I'm Zach Art. I am just a mod. I don't get a fancy second title like everybody else here.
So, Chris, actually, why don't we let you just talk about what the website is first, and then we'll get into our questions.
Yeah, sure. So, the website is a social network for fans of Life is Strange. I first found out about Life is Strange from the website Eurogamer. And I was, they released some screenshots, and even from the screenshots I knew that, it was going to be a cool game. The two screenshots was of one of Chloe's bedroom, and I was impressed by the attention to detail, and the fact that it looked like a teenager's bedroom, a real teenager's bedroom. And I love environmental storytelling where the environment is as much a character as the characters themselves. And speaking of the characters, the other screenshot was Max and Chloe in Chloe's car. And there's a certain way that Chloe is looking at Max that I could tell even before I knew anything about these characters that they were really expressive and that it was going to be a very emotional game. So I decided, even after the first episode, I decided to look up theories about the game because I knew there were still 4 episodes left to go. And I did discover a lot of theories. But I also discovered that there was already, even after the first episode, there was a lot of fan art, fan fiction. People were already cosplaying as the characters. But what I noticed was that all of this content was scattered all over the internet. There was no real central hub for all this content or a central meeting place for all these communities to come together and possibly even collaborate together. So I decided that since it didn't exist, I figured I would try and build it myself. And I never imagined a year ago that it would turn out as well as it did. But I've met some amazing people, learned a new skill, and it's all thanks to this game.
Well, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Glad you created it.
Yeah, really.
So yeah, to kind of, I guess, jump on the coattail of that. There's chats. There's a public chat room. You can upload your own artwork and stuff. It's like it's a social media hub, and it's all based around Life is Strange. So, but I promise you, this episode is not just an ad for the website. But we do want you to go there if you haven't already. But it's not an ad.
No,
So-
we expect the money later, so.
So how did each of you find out about Life is Strange? Chris, you already kind of touched on that.
Yeah.
Saw it in Eurogamer. So Kirk, how did you find out about it?
That is a interesting story. I actually came fairly late to the game. It was in January. Actually, I have the date right here. It was January 25th that I found this game. And that was an interesting day. I was searching around on Steam. And literally, I was just looking around. And I happened across this game on Steam. And there was a demo for it. And I was like, well, I like point-and-click adventures, you know? And that was one of the things I kind of noticed about it. I was like, oh, looked kind of like that. And I thought, oh, what the heck? I'll try it out, right? And I downloaded it, tried the demo, and it was like I started the game up. And here comes this loading screen at me. And this music starts playing at me. I'm like, well, this is different. and then it's like I started the game up and I was like, what is this? And immediately I had to buy it, like right then. Bought all the seasons. I was like, not even hesitating. Just because of my initial experience of the demo. And that's how I found out. It was just literally I momentary decision of it seems like a cool game. I'll try it.
It's fate. It's destiny. Maya, how did you find out about the game?
Honestly, I'm a little ashamed of of this story, but I will have to share it. Actually, I saw the first trailer released in December 2014, and I remember that despite the fact that I really loved the song they used, I believe it was Obstacles at the time, I didn't like the game at all.
Really?
Even with that little taser, I thought, what is this crap? I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the animations, the trailer structure, the lack of information of it. I simply don't know. I should say, man, this game is not for me at all. And I forgot about it. And when the game actually came out in January, I played it out of boredom because at the time I didn't have anything else to play. And the moment all of you by Sid Mother started to play when Mats was walking down the hall, I mentally punched myself and said, I was so wrong, man. I made a terrible mistake. So yeah, I'm kind of ashamed to admit that.
Well, you learned from your mistake, so that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like it now, that's the important thing.
Nate, how did you find out about it?
Let's see. Really saw a lot of it on Tumblr and was, kind of curious, but didn't really look into it a lot. And then I think it was back in January. One of my friends who I do Steam share with was just like, dude, I just bought this. You gotta play it. It's so great. And I was like, fine. I'll play it. I'll give it a try. and I played through episode 1 in one, like, just blew through it in a night, and I was just hooked. The next night I played episode 2, and the third night I blew through 3 through 5 in one sitting, and I was so not ready for the feels. But yeah, and then like I came to the site and was so ashamed to say I didn't even own the game. Finally bought a copy of it like a month after joining, and then I have a second copy now because I got a limited edition for Xbox. So, and trying to make everybody I know play it now.
Yeah.
All right, Zach, how did you find out about it?
I missed out on all the pre-release stuff. I had never heard about it before it actually launched. I'd never seen any trailers or screenshots or anything. And I think I was just trawling through the PlayStation store looking for something to play, and I came across Life is Strange, and it looked interesting. You know, it was one of these interactive narrative games like what Telltale puts out. So, and I like those, so I was interested. I downloaded the demo, like Kirk did, and I played it, and I was kind of into it. And I don't know if you guys played the demo, but it ends right after you save Chloe in the bathroom. And I was like really interested. I was almost like, there's something more to this. Like it with only that initial setup. I mean, you aren't even told anything about like Rachel. You don't really know Kate yet. You know, all it basically tells you is that you're a girl in high school and you have a superpower. And
Right.
while that was interesting, I was like, oh no, I think there's something more to this. So I bought episode 1 that day after I beat the demo and played through it. And man, it was great. Episode 1 is so good, and it sets up all the threads. And I was kind of hooked at that point. I think I missed out on episode 2 and 3's launch. I jumped back in shortly after 3 launched. And after that, I was caught up per release. I had to wait for them all, and it was grueling. It was painful.
Okay, so Chris, this next question is for you. It is what was the process like making the site?
Well, I don't have any programming experience, so it was a massive undertaking anyway, even attempting it. But I originally started using a program called Ning, N-I-N-G, and it's kind of like, it's the thing that allows you to make a social network, but the features are very light. And even though I started building the site on that, actually, I found that it didn't have all the features I wanted, and you know, I was limited to what I could do. So I decided to look into WordPress. Mm-hmm. And the good thing about WordPress is that there are so many plugins out there and premium themes already made. And even though it took me a year of experimenting, trying out different plugins to get all the features I wanted, I was able to do it with almost no programming whatsoever. Which, you know, we're lucky that, you know, we can do that these days. Because, you know, right. Maybe 15 years ago, if you didn't know PHP or you didn't know how to use Dreamweaver, then you were screwed pretty much. So, yeah, so it was a whole year of really just testing out different things on my own. The site was a really lonely place for a whole year while I made some fake accounts to make friends with. And that kind of...
Man, the public chat must have been terrible.
Yeah.
Chris, talk to yourself.
Yeah. Still, I mean, if you look at it now, there's a ton of users now on it, so it just kind of shows how much it's paid off. It's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Time for the next question then. So this is mainly directed to the moderators of the site. How did you originally find out about the website itself?
I guess I'll go first. You know, it's kind of a hard question. I remember finishing the game that weekend after I bought it, and I'm not a person who gets into fan communities. I'll just say that right now. I don't do it. You know, I love games. You know, I love Star Wars. I love all kinds of different. I don't get into their fan communities at all. Like just I don't. And something motivated me. I don't know. This game, like, literally, as soon as I finished the game, I immediately went out and bought the collector's edition because I just had to. And I just started looking. I started looking online for anything, and honestly, I thought I was too late because the game had finished back, the year before, and so I was like, wow, there's probably nothing, because the way game communities go, like, they just come and go. So I just started looking, and I ended up coming across there's like this website called lifeisstrangefans.com, and I'm like, well, this might be it. So I joined, and there were like, I don't know, like 20 users. And so I joined and became part of the user base and started just posting stuff. And I really quickly came to know the site admin because he was one of the 20 users. So that was a very interesting experience to actually know the moderator, the admin, I guess, of the site personally. That was different. I'd never done that in my life. And I mean, that's basically how I started in the site. I guess I was one of the very first few people. And honestly, I thought I was late to the game, but apparently I wasn't. So
you found it by Googling it?
Yeah. Googling it, literally, I literally just was Googling, like, Life is Strange fans, and it's like I found the Square Enix website, and it's like, no, that's not it. And I just looked around until I found this, and I was like, and it felt like home. Like, when I got here, it's like, well, this must be sponsored by Square Enix, right? I was like, no, it's not. Just some fan site, not endorsed or sponsored or affiliated by Don't Nod or Square. I was like, huh. Somebody has as much passion for this game as I have in, like, a weekend. I'm like, And that just kind of sold me on the fan base, as far as, like, it just told me, like, everyone else must have this is different kind of feel about this game. This is more than just a game.
Pretty cool, though. I actually found out about it instead of just giving up, like, after the second page of Google or something. Like, Mai, what about you?
Well, I actually found about the site when the official social media accounts of Life is Strange and Square shared the link. And honestly, I wasn't convinced, but a friend of mine talked to me and said, you need to see this site, it's awesome. And she kinda dragged me into it. I wasn't sure what I would find there at the moment. I really didn't know, but the moment I saw the interface and that familiar Life is Strange atmosphere, I fell in love with it. Even if I had to wait hours to actually make an account and join, to the big amount of people trying to do the same thing at the same moment. And after we finally got in, this friend convinced me to roleplay as Chloe Price, since nobody was doing roleplay at the site. And I wasn't so convinced at the beginning because I was afraid to not give the character justice, But it turned out to be an amazing experience, and I really love every single minute I spent on the site.
I think you should have learned by now that maybe reluctance isn't the best thing for you.
Yeah. All right, Nate.
Oh yeah, I guess it's my turn. Honestly, I'm trying to even remember, like, legit, because it's just been like a steady thing for me for the past couple months. And I'm like, wait,
It's kind of whirlwind
is it
throws you in.
here? You know, I forget what I think I was looking for something on Google, art or fix or something, because I don't know. Like, okay, I've never, kind of like Kirk said, I've never gotten involved in a game community to this extent before. Like, I have some games that I'm very passionate about. I mean, hell, I have a tattoo from BioShock, but never really got involved in the communities. Just, oh, okay, here's some art on Tumblr. I'll follow this. That's about it. But I was looking for something because I think it was a fic or something. Because I don't know, I just tear through any stories about Life is Strange. I just ended up finding the site, and I was like, huh, this looks neat. And I think it was during the Golden Hour contest, because I saw the contest on the front page and saw the whole thing about Square providing the prizes, and I was like, okay, this seems kind of legit. And I ended up joining, and eventually found my way into public chat, got to know Chris and Zach and Mai, and just haven't left. I'm just like stuck here. I'm not going anywhere.
I think that's the thing. I think you're not allowed to leave, so.
Yeah, I don't think they would if I tried.
Yeah, you can't leave at this point.
Zach would come over to my house and be like, "Get back on."
Yeah, but you can't keep going without
want
that.
to go there and actually, even if I need to threat you some kind of way, you should just stay at the side, man.
Yep, you're stuck with me.
Yeah, indeed.
Alright, Zach.
So, repeating what Nate and Kirk both said, I don't really get involved in communities very often. Like, the greatest extent to like a community for a game I'll get involved in is like a subreddit, and even then, like, casually. And like, subreddits are so impersonal that, you know, they don't really count, I feel. And that was actually where I found the site the day Chris opened it up. He made a post on the Life is Strange subreddit, and basically telling everybody to come hang out on the site because he was too lonely and bored. He was tired of talking to himself all day. So I was like, yeah, this looks pretty cool. And I'd written a fan fiction, and he said, he was like, come over and upload your art and your fan fictions and stuff. So I was like, oh, I can dump my fan fiction here, because the only place I had ever put it otherwise was on the subreddit, and you know, that's not exactly easy to find. Stuff gets buried in those. So I was like, well, I guess I'll go put my fan fiction on this site. So I made an account, and like I go to the site, and I was like, man, this is really sharp. It looks really good. So I made an account, snagged probably the best username I've ever got, and made it cool, put my fan fiction up there. And I honestly, to be honest with you, Chris, didn't think I'd stick around very often, just because I'm fickle like that, and I usually don't stick around.
Yeah.
But I started talking to you, and Kirk was there, and another one of our mods, Garrett, is one of the first users, and I got to know all three of them pretty well. And I don't know, I just found myself logging on every day, which, you know, like I said, communities aren't really, these dedicated communities aren't something that draws me in, so it was weird for me to, I would pick up my phone and I'd go, I wonder what's going on the site, and I would open it up, go to the chat room, and talk with people. And I think after 2 weeks, maybe, Chris asked me if I wanted to be a mod, and I was, at that point, I was like, well, guess I'm stuck here. Guess I'm dedicated at this point. So I agreed, and yeah, been hanging out on the site every day since then.
Yep. You're stuck with us.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, you're stuck with me.
It's like freaking Watchmen.
Yeah.
That's the only one who's seen that.
Thank you for getting the reference. That's what I was going for.
Yeah.
All right, so what personally to each of you do you think is the most difficult part of monitoring the site? Either Chris as an admin or moderator, or what personally is the most difficult part for you?
I'll go first if that's okay. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. I think this community is unique because of the nature of the game and the themes that it covers. It does cover some really heavy themes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because of that, the majority of the users, they've either suffered from or continue to suffer from some serious social issues, whether it's depression, anxiety, dealing with their sexuality, peer pressure, even bullying, which, it's not to say that other game communities don't have people suffering from these issues, but I would say that here it's a majority, and we've got over 1,200 members now. And when you've got that many people concentrated in one place, as with the game, I think it can become a very emotional place.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's why there is a genuine need for what we're calling Kate's Support Club, which Kirk and I will talk about soon. But I just wanted to stress that, that's not a gimmick. There is a very real need for it. And our on-site counselors have already helped people, even though it's not live yet. They've already helped people in a very real way. And I'm really proud of them for that.
Oh. I can attest to that, actually, having spoken with both Kirk and myself. All right. So, Kirk, what would you say is the most difficult part for you?
I think Chris brings up some really good points there about it's about the community and the difficulty with communities is especially when you get attached to people. It's like you really want to help people, and I know since I'm a counselor on the site, that's probably why I am a counselor, because I'm very committed to helping people, and moderating that. Sometimes you run into people who are it's the internet, difficult in their own ways, but you don't want to give up on them. So you get really emotionally invested in people, but there comes a point where it's like you have to decide whether people are just causing more trouble to the community than they're willing to improve, and so you just kind of have to make that decision at a point where is that point, where you got to tell Chris, well, we have to do something, then it has to be permanent to keep them from hurting people on the site, and that's probably very, very difficult to make that final decision of, I'll go more into detail when we talk about the Kate Support Club, but that's for all of us on the mod team, everybody in this site's very important to us, and we're all a family here, and as families go, you feel very connected to each other, and it's we all want the same thing, and that's to be a really strong, great community together, to I guess to be a Life is Strange family, kind of, is really what it comes down to, and so family issues, man. That's really to sum it up. It's like family. You have those days where you go to bed and you're frustrated, but then you wake up and you realize that it's going to be okay because you guys are family, and a little argument or whatever isn't going to ruin things forever. So I don't know. Right. I think I could just kind of ramble there. I hope you don't mind.
That's fine. What about you, Mai?
Chris and Kirk have really good points. The issues that people have on the site and in real life can be a little tricky sometimes. It's really complicated to avoid those issues and talk with people about that, and yeah, like I said, sometimes you have to put yourself a limit to not get hurt yourself. So I believe that that's one of the things I find more difficult as a counselor, maybe. And as a mod, in general, at least in my personal experiences, the multitasking between my duties as a mod, as a counselor, and my life, my real life.
Right.
I try to be as present as possible in case someone's need a hand with something, or someone needs to vent, or just somebody to listen to them, or just keep an eye on the public chat or the forums. And sometimes life gets in the middle of it. Of course, it's really hard to find a moment to take a look and see if everything is in good shape, or if someone needs you for anything. And talking about more maybe technical issues, as a team of moderators, it's really a challenge to cover all the time zones. I mean, we have something that we call the graveyard shift, where there is like really few people on the public chat, but we actually don't have, or it's hard to cover that shift because, sometimes you have to sleep and eat, So in general, it's not a big problem, but we had some issues with that.
What about you, Nate?
I don't know. I mean, most of what I do is either dealing with the Tumblr or modding in public chat. For me, I'd probably say it's a balance of figuring out, what's important enough to put on the Tumblr, what's just, oh, this isn't worth it. And as far as things in public chat, it's... I really don't like having to be a jerk, so the times that I do have to crack down on somebody, I'm like, I kind of feel bad. Because I'm like, why you gotta make me be an asshole? I don't want to be an asshole.
Made me do this.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, fortunately, it doesn't come up much. There's been all of 2 times that I've really had to crack down on somebody, and I mean, some people just don't want to listen. But I mean, I've had a pretty good time of it. I can't really pick out any major thing that's just like, oh god, this is so hard.
What about you, Zach?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what everybody said, but Kirk basically made my same point. It's like we're also close. Like Kirk said, we basically are a family at this point. Like, I never thought I'd be so attached to a bunch of people that, I've never even met in person, but I am. And it does have that same problem when, thankfully, like Chris said, due to the nature of the game and the subject matter, we generally attract people who aren't here to like make trouble, and that are here to like talk and hang out, and you maybe even look for help. And so we haven't had too many issues, but where we have had, whenever the issue starts up, like Kirk said, we are like a family at this point, and so it does make the decision on how to handle this even harder. It's like, you're closer to the problem. If you don't know that person that well, then, there's a disconnect, and it's easier to make a snap decision. But at that point, you know the person, you know what they've been going through, and you know why they're acting like they are, and it does make it harder. So honestly, the downfall is that we're a little too close to each other sometimes. So I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but I don't think it's a bad thing at all. But it does have drawbacks, and that's probably the hardest part to me. Along with what Nate says, you don't want to be a jerk, but sometimes you got to be a jerk. So you got to put the big boy pants on and be a jerk to somebody.
All right.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think for the most part, I want to give a little personal testament to the site, to our mod here. I told him I was going to get lovey-dovey, so I'm going to do it now. It's really awesome. You guys do a great job with what you do. Chris and administrating the site, all you guys with moderating. I don't know. I'll keep this as brief as possible because it's not my interview. But I think I say that every interview. Anyway,
That's fine.
yeah, you guys are awesome, and I don't know, you and the rest of the users and all that. It really does make coming to the site a great thing, and really appreciate what you guys do, and that's why we wanted to have you on the show. Sorry, Jess, go ahead.
No, that's fine. So I just wanted to ask the next question, and it's for everybody. So, what are your guys' personal visions on the site's future? Like, what do you see happening? Chris, we'll start with you.
Yeah. So speaking in terms of just content, I know that we have some clubs still to add to the site, including a book club where people can share and discuss books and their own original writing. Then there's like fashion club, tech club, lots of different clubs. But we've also got classes coming. So part of the point of the site is for it to be a digital representation of Blackwell Academy. So we want that high school, college feel. And that's why there are clubs, because it's like they're after-school clubs. That was the idea. But like I said, classes too. So photography class, film class, writing class, music class. And the idea is for members of the site to actually apply to be teachers of these classes. So, they can take on a certain number of students and share their talent and even set projects. We won't call it homework, projects, which they can then give feedback on. So we have lots of plans for the operational future of the site. But speaking broadly, my hope is that the site is held up as an example, a good example of what a gaming community can be, because I think the gaming community can get a lot of bad rep. But every day on Life is Strange fans, I see nothing but good examples of people supporting and encouraging each other. And, I'd like the legacy of the site to be a place where everyone feels welcome and comfortable in their own skin, with no fear of being ridiculed or laughed at for the way they are or the choices they make in life. Because actually life is strange, but that doesn't always have to be a bad thing.
Boo.
There you go.
Wow, Chris, you really hit that on the nail on the head there. Wow. So my personal visions for the site's future. I know personally for me, I'm always very much into making sure people are connected and they feel welcome here. So I mean, for me, that's a real. That's a thing I hope we keep doing really well, is making sure everyone feels like they have their own friend group here, that it feels very personal for them, and I know right now it's challenging just to do the number of users we have, so that's something I hope we continue growing on and working on, and I think we've done a really good job up to now, but there's always room for growth. Man, I'd love to see more involvement from the community, like Chris is saying, with the clubs and the contests and stuff, and the classes. I think that's. Yeah, I want to see all the users be able to put their work out there, and not just be about us mods or whatever. I don't know. I'm not really much of a person who loves popularity, so I don't really. It's a love-hate kind of thing. I have good things I want to say, but a lot of times I'd like everyone else to get their own, piece of the action, as it were. So, like, I hope we have a lot of users on here that get connected, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Maya, what about you?
Well, actually, the fact that the people wants to get involved and share their work, I'm always the one in the public chat saying, hey, share your link or share your profile, so people can really see what you do. Art, fan fiction, whatever you're doing, just share it with the community and don't be shy or don't be afraid to share your work. And as for the future, honestly, I'm really excited about the classes and the clubs coming up. But what really matters to me is that this community and the people on this site keep being as warm and friendly and welcoming as they are now. Having 1,000 members or 20,000 members online, I don't care much about the number. It's like the most important thing to me is that we can keep that special atmosphere and the essence of Life is Strange.
Awesome. Nate, what about you?
I mean, a lot of what the others said. Of course, I want to see my personal project, Tumblr, kind of blow up a bit more. It's still pretty small. I'm really looking forward to classes and clubs, because that's another place that I'm looking forward to getting involved in. And just really hope that even as we get more people, it stays really close-knit like it is now. Like, legit, these guys here are family at this point, I mean, especially these other four here. My phone's blowing up with messages like all day because we're just constantly and it's I want the site to kind of keep that feel of everybody knows each other, even though we've got a crap ton of members now.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice. I can always go in public chat. I know 90% of the people that are there. And it's great. I mean, it's great people. And I just wanted to keep being like that. Because, like Chris said, there's a lot of gaming communities that get really crappy and get a bad rep, and some of them are deserved, some of them aren't. But I really don't want us to be one of those. I want us to be like the example of the good one.
Yeah. Zach, what about you?
I think I'm just going to be echoing most of what everybody else has said. I want this place to become, the one of the golden standards for what a community can and should be. And, ideally this will be a place where you can come to just talk if you need to talk to somebody, or find somebody to play a game with, or just hang out. And it's definitely already become that place for me. I mean, I get on every day and I talk to everybody here once a day. I mean, I talk to all you guys, and even there's 8 other people outside of the people in this podcast who I talk to every single day. And I get in the chat room and I talk to everybody else, and I mean, this is like the 8th time we've said it, but it really is a family, and I want it to be like that for everybody possible. It's our own little place online where we can go and be ourselves and be safe with each other and talk to each other and learn new things with the classes, or just have a good time with each other. And I think we're on a pretty good track, and I think we're already there, and it'll just get better from this point.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys.
You have really deep answers there.
Excited for the future.
Be excellent with each other. Right. So this question is for Kirk and Mai. Can you explain your roles in the upcoming counseling program and what the program itself is?
Yeah, absolutely, Jamie. So Chris approached me early on. After a couple weeks I was here, I think it was just between some of my posts on the forum and posts that I made myself, inspired from Life is Strange. I guess he saw that I was a good fit for what he wanted, so he kind of made me the head counselor of this program early on, which I'm very grateful for and very humbled by, because I am not a professional or anything at what I do. I'm just a guy that, I don't know, I have a good heart, I like to think. But, so, like, I started out by posting some journals that I wrote, and because Life is Strange inspired me to get back into journaling, and basically trying to motivate people to overcome, their issues by working through them, whether it's talking to people or and just communication in general. And so kind of what the counseling and Kate Support Club is hopefully going to be all about is giving people to have someone just kind of to have a shoulder to lean on, kind of talk to, and just be available in life for them, to help them, and it's obviously we aren't professionals or anything, and don't try to claim to be that, but we can at least, since we care for those people, try to give them advice, try to give them a path forward to overcoming their problems. And I started out, I'll just be honest, I started out with Mai, honestly, and I started talking to her, and she kind of was my first person I worked on, and in a way we kind of worked on each other. It was very interesting how much of a two-way thing this really is, with whenever you get really deeply involved with people and trying to understand what their problems are, it helps you understand yourself better, and it helps you grow as a person, as well as you're trying to help them grow as well. I've had many people come to me and talk to me and ask for help and stuff, and it's a challenge, honestly, to reply to everyone and put the effort in you want to. So I've been trying to expand what we're doing and get more people involved, but that's been slow going, because you've got to make sure that people you involve know the best way to the best way to talk to people, and that's a skill that takes some time to develop. And we want to make sure in our counseling program that we have really good quality people for the community here. Hopefully I answered. Did I answer that well?
Yeah, you answered that fine. Don't
okay.
worry about it.
I don't know. I just kind of end up rambling sometimes. I think that's my general answer to things. I just ramble.
People ramble on here all the time. It's completely fine. So, what about you, Mai? What's kind of your input about this?
Yeah, it's like you said. We started like helping each other, and he was with his issues, I with mine, and I kind of learned that sometimes the best way to help yourself is helping someone else. I mean, when I talk to people about their problems and such, I try to share mine too. It's like a two-way street. I mean, they feel comfortable with you because you are sharing too. It's not only sitting there and say, hey, okay, tell me what you are feeling, and that's all. You don't know me, so you can share whatever you want with me, and I don't care. In fact, it's exactly the opposite. And sometimes even, yeah, we are not professionals at all. We don't have all the answers. We are, even we have our own issues to deal with. But I don't know, it's kind of apply what we learn from the game itself, to listen and help people with real issues, and giving the people a place that it's safe to vent their thoughts about life, or help them work out their problems and moving forward with their lives. And also try to find the most productive way to resolve conflicts. And I can speak for Kirk here when I say the game motivated us to help others with their issues. And that's it. We care, and we try to show the people that we actually care about their problems. I mean, there is sometimes people say that they feel when talk to others that they minimize their problems, and it's never the way. I mean, yeah, of course, people has it worse than other, but the important part is that you are suffering from your issues. It doesn't matter if other people suffer more or less than you. You're suffering, that's enough for me to care and try to help. So I can learn about this through Life is Strange, through Chloe mostly, even if it's weird that I'm saying that. But I feel connected to her character, and even her character development at some point. And I try to respect that and emulate that in a way that can be positive for other people to approach me and say, hey, I need someone to talk to you, to talk about this problem I have. Mostly is that what I'm doing as a counselor. Just tell me what's your problem and I will listen to you and try to share my personal experience if it helps you, and just be there sometimes makes a difference.
Right. So simple, but probably the most important thing about this is that it's just for like any advice we like you guys have like no like professional kind of like qualifications behind you. Like if anyone has like really serious problems, they should like reach out to people who kind of specialize in that stuff, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's kind of similar. My understanding. There's I think it's 7 cups of tea or something like that. It's just someone to talk to, listen to. But yeah, man, you guys ever just like get chills listening to answers and stuff? Because
yeah, I'm getting it right now. So,
but yeah, just touching on that, we are actually going to have all the phone numbers and contacts all around the world for the professionals, as well. So we'll always refer people to those at the beginning and at the end of every conversation we have with people in Kate's support club.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Probably, I don't know. Not to minimize all these other extremely important answers and questions, but I guess for the show, the biggest question we have for you blokes is Bae, B-A-E, or Bae, B-A-Y.
Here it goes.
The big one.
Right. I think I should actually answer last, just because I know from speaking to everyone that I'm the only one who made my choice. So I'm gonna let everyone else go first.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. First time I played through, I chose Arcadia, but then I decided after I'd made that choice, this was a terrible decision. I was like, no, I have to Chloe every time. So first time I did choose Arcadia Bay, but I gotta admit, I'll choose BAE Chloe every day.
What about you, Mai?
We really need.
Well, you already know I'm a helpless prize-filled trash. So Chloe, no doubt. I really tried to put myself in Matt's shoes in every situation she was during the game, and there and at the cliff, I couldn't do it. I couldn't sacrifice Chloe. I started at the choice for 10 minutes, feeling awful about it because if I don't know, not because I was going to press the button ASAP. When the choice finally came, I just started at the screen in anger because I have already made my decision, and even if it was painful and the ending was awful with Chloe and Matt driving through the wreckage and such, I don't regret it, like, at all. And it was like, what if it was me? I mean, would I be capable of, I don't know, sacrificing the person I love the most in the world for a town of people I really didn't get to know at all? I mean, yeah, there is Kate, there is Warren, but in general lines, the only persons I care about besides Tori were Joyce and Kate, and even that wasn't enough to change my mind. And I chose Chloe over the town, and after that I went to YouTube to watch the other ending. And I can get past the gunshot. I mean, it's been months since the game ended, and even today I can't watch the Bay ending in full. I mean, I can't. I just get to the gunshot and close the tab, and I really think I'm never going to get over that.
Nate, what about you?
I am price field trash. It wasn't a question. When I played through, I was kind of like, oh, whatever, until Chloe, and then it was just all Chloe. I was so pro Chloe, I blew through the entire game in 11 hours total. And I mean, no regrets. I'm never gonna play the Bay ending. That ending is such, well, to me it feels like crap. Of, oh, well, you had powers, you did all this stuff. It doesn't count for anything. And not gonna lie, someone I cared about that much, glass the whole town. I give no fucks. No hesitation, no regrets.
Yeah. I think I'm with everybody else. I choose Chloe over Arcadia. I mean, I'm not the type, whenever it comes to like a choice in a game, I'm usually the one to go for the morally lighter decision, the good decision, if you will, the needs of the many. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it at the end of that game. It was like, like the only person I really, really cared about that could like match up to Chloe was Kate. And my headcanon is hopefully that Kate's parents picked her up and got her out of town that morning. But yeah, I can't. I had to pick Chloe over the other one. I wanted to pick the Bay so bad because I knew it was the nicer decision. I'm not going to say right decision, but the kinder decision. Even she even asks you to pick the Bay, the Arcadia over her, but I just couldn't do it. It was I always lend a testament to the game that's like, I think the only game that forced my hand to pick the darker decision. Yeah, I've always gone for the better decision, but like Life is Strange, I couldn't do it. They forced me. So yeah, that's part of the reason why I like the game so much.
That other one was
Yeah.
strong.
They brought me over to the dark side.
They won the right choice here.
All right, so I guess we have C for controversial Chris here.
Yeah.
What you got for us?
So I don't always make choices in games, even in role-playing games, based on what I would actually do in real life. I tend to go for choices that will give me the most interesting cinematic outcome or make me feel something. And I knew that I like tragic endings, and I knew that that's what I was going to get from the Sacrifice Chloe ending. But I also see Life is Strange as a coming-of-age story. And not only do you come of age literally, you come of age as a person, and sometimes that means accepting responsibility and moving on or letting go of the past. And the ending when Max and Chloe drive off together, it doesn't have full closure for me because, I feel like it's them holding on to the past and onto their childhood. But the Sacrifice Chloe ending, Max has a full character arc. Like even at Chloe's funeral, she even looks like an adult in her dress. And I have to give Ashley Burke some credit because of it for this, because she touched on this in her interview. But I think even though it's a sad ending, at least Max got to say goodbye to Chloe. And we don't always get that opportunity, especially when there's a tragic accident involved. We don't always get that one last phone call with our dad, that last visit with our mother, or that last one special moment with our best friend. So I think the game's time travel mechanic is like one big metaphor, because it's as much about the choices we don't get to make as it is about the choices we do.
Damn, man. Didn't want to get deep here.
Yeah, I can't even listen to people talk about that without tearing up.
Well
He
said.
wins.
Yeah, can I add one more thing on?
Yeah.
Adding on to what you said, Chris, I absolutely agree with you. And personally for me, why I changed my decision partly was because of that, like what you just said. And when I got to the ending, and it really connected with me, and there's actually a reason why I went out and bought the collector's edition right after, is because there was a friend of mine that I have to admit I've been kind of neglecting like my own Chloe, and it made me realize that I was moving forward, but I wasn't giving up on my Chloe in life, like my friend that I need to reach out to and be that friend to that I haven't. And so in a way, it's like I'm growing up, but I'm not going to let myself ever get to that point where I have to choose between Bay or Bay. It's I guess that was really the ending for me. It's like the ending that taught me, like, well, Max reached that point, but I haven't yet. So make the best learning experience from this game that I can to apply to my life, and do something before I have to choose and make that shitty decision.
Well, hopefully your friend doesn't lead you to having to choose to destroy an entire town or not.
Hope nothing like that.
So, are you guys ready to move on to the next question, or anybody want to add anything else?
I think I'm good.
Yeah?
Good.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm okay.
So, do you want to start the fan questions then, or?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, alright. So, this first one is from Daniel, and he wants to know, what's it like being part of the Life is Strange community, which you guys kind of touched on a little, but if you could just add a little bit more. Do you want to start with Chris, or?
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's a privilege, really, because, to be entrusted to look after a place with so many good-hearted people, and to have the support of Square Enix, especially the community manager, Toby Pond. Not all game publishers are as supportive as they've been, and I think that's because they understand how important it is to engage constantly with their community and to include them almost every step of the way. I think we're lucky enough to live in a time where we can all share our love of the game and the community and thank those involved instantly in 42 characters or less.
Why 42?
Twitter.
Oh,
Isn't it 140?
Oh, 142, sorry, yeah. Oh god, that would be a short message, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
just wondering.
Thank
if this
you.
was,
Bye. Kirk, what about you?
Oh gosh. I've been tending to ramble this whole podcast, so I'll keep this short. I guess my short and sweet answer is that feels like family. I know I've said that before, but being part of this site has made my year already the best year that I've ever had. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Wow.
Best year.
Mai, what about you?
The community is. Oh man, it's something I can explain with words. I mean, I will mumble around. It's. I've been in some other communities before from other games or series, but I've never experienced this warmth, this sense of family and friendship anywhere. And I think like all the Life is Strange fans are still attached to the game at some point and have this deep connection. I can't exactly explain. It's like we get each other because we relate deeply to the same story. And it's a story that in many cases made a difference in us. I think that what makes this community awesome and different, and that's why I love to be part of it. Being at the side, Life is Strange fans, it's this amazing place where the community can hang out and meet each other and mostly be themselves all the time. You don't have to pretend anything. And in other communities, it happens a lot. It's like you are putting on a mask and you can be yourself because you end up being bullied or things like that. And with this community, it doesn't happen. I mean, it's been a really, really amazing experience. Not only at the site, but in general, on Steam, or Tumblr, or Twitter, Facebook, in anywhere you engage with this community, you feel accepted at some point, and I think that makes a difference.
Nice answer.
Yeah.
What about you, Nate?
I mean, it's really what everybody else kind of said of it's kind of family at this point. It's a real tight-knit group. It's crazy kind of thinking that I got this involved with all these people in, 2 months that I've been around. Like Mai was saying, you don't feel like you have to bullshit and try to be somebody else or try to act cool just to, be accepted. It's just chill. And the people are great. I mean, there's about a dozen people from the site that I talk to literally every day, whether I'm online or not. I'm texting somebody or on Discord or on the site or on whatever, I'm always talking to somebody from the site. It's just good people. And I really like that,
Awesome. Well, Zach, what about you?
Once again, I'm the last guy. I just repeat what everybody else says at this point. yeah, I mean, being a part of it, it's been so cool. Like, since I signed up, the day the site went up, like, every day has been great. I've met so many cool people, and, you know, people all across the world, Mize in South America, and, you know, met people in Canada, somebody Hungary, Germany. I mean, it's awesome meeting all these people and getting to know them and talking to them every day. And, I mean, it's just been, I mean, I don't know. All I can say is it's been really cool. And I've told Chris this before, but, whenever I'm in like a rough spot, in a place in my life where, you know, I might not be at my happiest, I don't sleep well. I have bad nights. I can't sleep, and I'll maybe get like an hour or two. But ever since I found the site and I've made an account, I've slept well every night. So the site's, I don't know, it's done something for me that I didn't really know I was missing, honestly. But I don't know, it's just been great to be a part of this group and this family, and getting to know all you guys, especially.
So it's your support meetings where you can cry, get a good night's sleep.
Yeah, I'll admit that I've, let's see, I know Mike can admit to this too. The site has made me shed tears more than once, and I think the one was out of just raw emotion, and the other was on a particular night with Joey and Jamie, where we all lost our minds.
Oh, I know what you mean.
So yeah, the place, it's been great here. I mean, it's been so cool to be a part of this site.
Yeah. It's just great hearing like how the community's impacted you in like a personal way and shit. It just shows how great it is to hear that stuff. So yeah, I guess it's time to move on to the next question, right? So the next question is from Just, and they would like to know, was there a point whilst playing the game where you knew it was going to be special or a great experience?
Yeah, for me, it was, I think Mai mentioned it earlier, once you leave Jefferson's classroom, and Max puts the earphones in, and To All of You plays, and you walk down the corridor, the titles come up, and you're walking down the corridor and you see all these different, you know, characters that you're going to get to know throughout the game. It spoke to me instantly. Like, everyone's heard it, or some of you might have heard of the documentary called Indie Game the Movie. This to me felt like Indie Movie the Game. Like, I've always liked indie movies, and this was literally like, it just felt like, you know, a video game version of an indie movie.
Yeah. So I guess like you felt you were in the movie, right?
Yeah.
Get out.
But yeah, other than that though, it was really the rooftop scene with Kate. I think that scene will affect everyone in different ways, but like, I literally had a physical reaction to that, because actually the first time I played it, I failed to save her. And I literally shouted no and put my hand out as if it was going to do anything. And I had to actually reload my save because I refused to let her die. You know?
Guilty.
The only one.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that too.
Yeah. Except I refused to reload because I didn't want to, you know, change any decisions first playthrough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm usually like that. I'm glad I have 100% success rate with Kate.
I cannot say that I did, but that's because I was so pro Chloe that I ignored the phone call.
Oh,
Oh no.
Yeah, I doomed myself.
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, Kirk, what about you?
oh, neat. You know, I'm not gonna try to reiterate because I mean that moment I think it stands out for everyone. But I know for me, the moment that really hit me that this was gonna be an emotional game was the ending to episode 1 when that obstacles started playing for me at the ending, and that was really whenever it made me realize that this is going to be a really emotional game in some way. And it all kind of came together for me, like that moment where they're sitting on the bench and they're looking out over the bay and they're at the lighthouse. I don't know what exactly did it for me. Like, I think it was just everything, like the combination of everything that had happened through the game that just, it kind of made me tear up a bit. And so that moment really stood out for me, like, on my first playthrough.
It's a good moment.
Yeah, Mai?
Well, taking into consideration my first reaction to the trailer, I realized that it would be different the moment that Chris said when Matt put her headphones and walked down the hall. But the moment I really felt like this game will be something else entirely, something I'll never forget. Was like Kirk said at the end of the first episode, when the snow started to fall and Chloe looked at Matt with that look on her face, and she said, "Matt, start from the beginning and tell me everything." Even though I didn't realize at the moment that this game would be a life-changing experience, it turned out to be. I knew the game was special at that moment.
Yeah. Right. So Nate.
Yeah, I think it really hooked me at first with the whole, the scene in the hallway, and then the first big thing was, well, Chloe in the bathroom, and I was just like, oh shit, that did not just happen. Because I kind of indirectly knew about the characters from Tumblr and stuff, but I didn't know what happened in the game. And I was just like, no way. Like, what? And then the rewind and all that. And yeah, I'd say really, as far as the final, okay, this is something great. This is something I got that's going to be amazing. Was probably the same as the scene by the lighthouse at the end of episode 1, because that was the point where I was just like, that's it. I've got to play the rest of it. And that it was just, oh god.
The emotion roller coaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All aboard the Venus train.
All right, Zach.
Well, like I said, whenever I downloaded the demo, I got to the end of the demo, which ends shortly after the bathroom scene, and where you save Chloe the first time, and I had the feeling that there was something more to the game, so I bought it. That was what drove me to buy it. But I think the moment that I was really kind of like all in was the beginning, the intro to episode 2, where Max wakes up in her dorm room and something good comes on the radio, and just that like slow build up. I feel like that scene, that intro is like, I don't know, I feel like it's the perfect emulation of all the emotions and like the vibe that the game is going to send to you. You've just seen at the end of episode 1 that the storm is coming on Friday and that there's this weird snowfall when it's 80 degrees out, and you're kind of given this mystery of Rachel Amber, and you wake up, Max wakes up there at the beginning of episode 2, and you have all these feelings of like anxiousness because of the storm that's coming, and like mystery about like what happened to Rachel, and at the same time it's got the whole, like Chris brought up, the whole indie vibe with that the way that Max wakes up in that room, and she's got the Post-it notes on her wall where she's been obviously researching time travel all night. And I don't know, I feel like the beginning, the intro to episode 2, is by the moment where I was really like hooked. I feel like it's the perfect culmination. It sets the mood for the whole game, I feel like. So
Yeah. I actually woke up one day morning with that song playing in my head.
yeah, I believe I made a alarm playlist, and that was the first song I added to it. Felt appropriate.
Great alarm choice, though.
Yeah.
Ready.
Our last fan question is from Connor, and it is: if there was to be a sequel, what would you like it to focus on? So, Chris, I'll start with you.
Yeah. So we actually have a poll on the site about this, and the option that's winning is the one that I agree with, which is to have a whole new story with new characters in a new town, but to have it set in the same universe and still reference some of the events and characters of season 1. And I think, I hear a lot of people say, well, if it doesn't have Max and Chloe, I'm not interested. But I think, it's going to be the same people involved. And I think we should trust them to come up with characters that we're going to fall in love with all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
That's well said. Kirk.
Well said. So yeah, I mean, I have to agree with that. I think it'd be cool if it focused more on male side of the characters instead of the female side. I think that'd be a cool difference in the next game, because I think they hit a lot of the issues on the feminine aspect, and it applies to a lot of people too. But I think there's something to be said for characters like, well, Nathan Prescott and Warren. Well, why do they act the way they do, and get inside of their characters' heads and understand them better of what they're thinking, what those kinds of characters go through from their side of their story dynamic and I think that'd be cool to explore that. I think that those are my thoughts.
That would be interesting. Interesting take. I think they could handle it well too, without having like super masculine,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Unrealistic. Yeah. Mai, what about you?
Well, as much as I am Pricefield trash to hell and back, I would like to see a sequel not related to the main cast in season 1. Even if I would love to see more of Mats and Chloe at some point, it's mostly because either way, it will destroy the player's choices in the first place. That would mean, I don't know, kill the effect of any ending. Yeah. Or pick a canon ending. And I believe the game, it's not meant to be like that. So, yeah, I don't know. I really believe that after that choice, Mats and Chloe's story is done, and it's time to let other characters come to us. Another location, another power even would work too. But I really accept that the creators of the game already said that Mats and Chloe's story is done. So I think we should move on and look forward to it.
Well said. Nate.
I'm conflicted because I am hella fucking Pricefield trash. And I want anything and everything Max and Chloe. But I also know that anything official continuing them would just basically totally disregard the game, no matter which choice the first game, no matter which choice you picked. Like, they purposely left the ending up to you to pick, and they'd have to pick one or the other and make that the official ending, and I feel that would kind of destroy it. So I'm kind of agreeing with Chris I think I'd rather it be, just totally new, but reference season 1. I wouldn't want it to just completely ignore it and just be like a totally separate story with no attachment to the other. I'd want it to have something, even if it's just little minor references here and there. Acknowledging, but something new.
Right. Zach, what about you?
Yeah, I think I agree with everybody else. As much as I love Chloe and Max, I do feel like their story's done with. And as much as it sucks that, knowing that we're not really going to get more of them, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. As much as I want more, more can be a bad thing. And it can, like you guys said, it can mess up the canon. So I think a new set of characters, a new cast would be probably the best way to go. And, people, like Chris brought up, people say, I won't be interested if Max and Chloe aren't involved, but, I think we do have to give Don't Nod some credit. I don't think Max and Chloe were lightning in a bottle. I don't think it was a one-time thing. They've done it once. They can pull it off again. Mm-hmm. So right. I'd like to see a new cast. I would actually say I'd almost like to see a new setting, obviously, in terms of location in the world. I think we can move on from Arcadia Bay, but I would almost like to see a new era. I would like to see a coming of age story in the 80s or in the 70s or the 90s. Bring it to like a different time. You can even change up the whole indie vibe of the game. Put it in the 80s and put in some glam rock and stuff.
Boy,
hell, go early 90s and go grunge.
Yeah. Exactly.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool.
And I think people who are all, if there's no Max and Chloe, then I don't want anything to do with it. I think really, realistically, they'll get the hell over themselves and they'll play. Because we've seen what this game's capable of, and I think even if you want to act like that, you're going to find something that you'll like in a sequel.
Yeah, they'll not want to. They'll see that Chloe and Max are in it, and they'll go, I don't want to play that. And then they'll see the reviews that episode 1 gets, and then if they still haven't played, they'll see the reviews that episode 2 gets, and they're going to jump on eventually. I think Don't Nod they're capable enough to do it again. The first season was not a fluke.
No,
they can do it again for sure.
Yeah, they know what they're doing because I went back to play Remember Me after Life is Strange, and they knew what they were doing back then as well.
Yeah, I like Remember Me. I was so invested in the story, but I really need to finish it. I never beat it. It's a good one.
I think too, now that they've got BAFTAs and other awards and all that under their belt too, it's going to be a lot easier to pick up publishers and a lot easier to get funding, and that's my hope anyway.
Oh yeah, they've got clout now. They've got authority in what they want to do.
Right.
Yeah, not just anybody can make a totally new property, especially something episodic like this, and just bam, out of nowhere, BAFTA, So, I mean, even regardless, I think with how it's ended up and how supportive Square is in it, Square would support it 100% of if they wanted to do a season 2.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I hope to. Like, I hope that.
I really do, but I want it to be properly done, not just something that's thrown out just because people are demanding it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, hopefully they've got time with Vampire.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Don't Nod would do that, but a lot of companies do, and I wouldn't want to see that done to Life is Strange.
Right. Yeah. Well, speaking of alternate timelines and ultimate settings and all that.
Great segue,
You
Joey.
Podcasts.
Nailed it.
want to talk about the competition we got going on?
Yeah. Sorry, shall I? Me or?
Okay.
Yeah.
Out there,
So I was approached by Toby Palm. Said, we've got some of the official Life is Strange clothing merchandise to give away, and they said that they'd like to, run a competition through our site, which was, a great honor, and we could decide on what that competition would be. So we knew it was going to be a fan art competition because we had done a photo contest last time, and Zach came up with the idea of alt characters. So, various alternate universes where there are crazy variations of the characters from Life is Strange. And Joey, you yourself helped come up with a story as well, a framing story. And we've already had some really cool submissions. But the idea is that the main prizes are the Blackwell Bigfoot's hoodies. And we wanted people to get the size they wanted. So there's 3 different galleries to submit to on the site. Small, medium, and large. But we've also then got a sort of prize draw contest, which anyone can enter, so you don't have to be good at art, and that's to win the other merchandise, so the Misfit Skull vest and the male version, the Jane Doe t-shirt and the Hot Dog Man t-shirt. And we've already had 300 entries for that.
Crazy.
So so it's still running for another 3 weeks, and Mai has done some amazing promo art for it, which interprets the characters. Yeah, 8 of the characters in different ways. She spent a lot of time on it, and it's turned out amazing. So that will definitely help inspire you to come up with your own.
I love old Pompadour.
Yeah.
Good old Pompadour.
Yeah. So yeah, we're leaving up the artwork right now. Do you want to talk about it a little bit? Like how it follows the rules of the competition?
Yeah, so the artwork shows 8 characters, but we actually, when you submit your artwork, we'd like you to submit only 1 character, because it's easier to judge 1 character. But in Mai's artwork, we've got Punk Kate, Skater Max, Bookworm Chloe, Preppy Frank, Pompadour as a poodle, Jock Nathan, and Warren as like a trendy kind of version of himself, and cheerleader Victoria. So you get the idea. They're all almost complete opposites of what they are in the game. But people have already submitted some really original ideas. We've had like Father Mark Jefferson, which is as disturbing as it is cool.
I love it though.
Yeah, people have submitted or talked about doing zombie versions of them. It's endless basically. So that's why we wanted to do it, because if we just had it as an open fan art competition, we would have been flooded with price field art, I think.
Totally.
So we wanted really original fan art that hasn't been seen before. So that's why it's open to interpretation.
So what are the only things that you can't do? What are the rules, I guess, against what you can't draw?
Yeah, so we're not allowing any franchise crossovers. So you can't do like Chloe with a lightsaber, for example. Although I have asked Mai to do that for me personally.
I promise I will.
Yeah,
I've got a lot in the queue.
Got a long list, yeah. But
Yeah.
no franchise crossovers. Nothing explicit, obviously, please. And yeah, it has to be a character from Life is Strange. It can't be an original creation. It should be obvious who the character's meant to be, but you can do gender benders. You can interpret, Nathan as a female if you want. And yeah, it just like I said, you can only have one character, so don't do 2 characters in your artwork. And it has to be it's got 3 weeks to submit it, so it has to be submitted by the closing date. That's kind of... also, sorry, one more important rule. We're not allowing any 3D renders. It has to be traditional art. That can be, painting, drawing, or digital painting with a tablet, for example. But no 3D renders, at least for this competition.
Right. And it needs to be actually drawn, right? Or painted over. Like, you can't take a screenshot and paint over it, right?
Yeah, no screenshot paint overs either. We want original art, that's never been seen before.
Yeah.
Right. So, artists out there, if this is something that interests you, if you would like to win a hoodie, then submit your artwork.
This as well.
Yeah. Or you could enter, to all of our artists and non-artists, you can enter the giveaway, which unfortunately we are exempt from, or I would have entered. But
So sad. I think we'll live.
Well, I would love to submit my pancakes to the competition.
Oh, I know.
honestly, but
Yeah, but then nobody else would have a chance.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean,
Can I enter? No, I'm kidding.
No.
I'm kidding.
no, just
you're banned.
Oh, darn it. I had a good idea too.
So yeah. Chris, when is the closing date for this competition?
It's, sorry, let me just check.
That one day.
It's the 27th of May,
Right.
That
Okay,
one
so
day,
just under 3
thing.
weeks.
Yeah.
Artists, you have a fair enough amount of time. Hopefully you can get it done. Get it in for the prize draw.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And how many people have entered so far? Like,
Well,
roughly?
the fan art part, I think we've only had about 15 entries,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
the prize draw, we've had well over 300 so far.
Right. Yeah. All right.
That's gonna be fun choosing the winner.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you gonna choose that? Are you gonna pick randomly out of a hat or something?
It's going to be randomized, yeah, but I haven't figured out exactly how yet.
Okay.
Alrighty.
The
So
wheel.
yeah. Oh, the wheel.
The wheel.
So so that's the competition. We have pretty much one other thing to touch on before we wrap up the show, and that would be Nate's GoFundMe page. So Nate, would you like to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Talk about it both as promoing it and as a thank you, because this fandom, this site has been so amazing. We originally set out. My son's autistic. Start at the beginning. So am I. But he's nonverbal. He can't talk. He can't communicate very well, and that presents a lot of struggles. So we're attempting to get him a service dog. Well, I say attempting, but it's a pretty sure thing now. We're getting him a service dog to assist with, when he gets overwhelmed because somewhere that we are is just too much sensory input, or to keep him from wandering off, or if he does, somebody will realize, he's got this dog with him. He's not just not talking because he's being difficult. He can't communicate, and plenty of other ways that she'll help him. And as far as thanking the community, you guys have really amazed us. We set out just trying to get the bare minimum that we need to get the dog and get some of the most basic equipment and training. And we set out to get, 800,000 originally?
800.
800 originally.
800,000.
800,000
is a lot.
And I really want to thank everybody from the site, because you guys just amazed us, because literally we hit that $800 goal in 24 hours. We've raised the goal twice since then, between people want to continue donating, and there's always more to pay for with a service dog. There's always vet visits. There's always, more training to go to, more equipment that she's going to need as she grows. And right now, our current goal, if we hit it and people are still interested, we'll raise it again, because like I said, there's always more. Our current goal is $1,600. It's been 25 days since we started it, and we're sitting at 1,517. We're
Very close.
doing amazing, and you guys, this has almost entirely been from the fandom, from the site. There's been, maybe $300 of that was not from y'all, and that just amazes me. It's really shows the potential of this community and this site, of things that we can do when we work together, but please, if you can, give a little bit, because this is really something that's going to help him. And this is something that's that dog is going to be with him for, the next 10, 15 years of his life. And it's just really important to me to be able to help him like this. And for those that didn't know, last month was Autism Acceptance Month. Some people say awareness. I choose not to for my own reasons. So keep that in mind. Educate yourself a little bit. If you're curious or have any questions, feel free to come to me on the site or wherever. And also, you should look into the Autism Self-Advocacy Network, or ASIN. They are an amazing resource for anything you want to learn about it, and it's much better than some of the other sites you can go to. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to bash anything.
Yeah, so help out if you can. Nate's a good friend of ours with the show, and so we really appreciate it.
I want to add something onto what Nate said. Nate, you are dad on the site, and your wife is mom, and tomorrow is Mother's Day, the 8th, so maybe if you've got some money, Anna will appreciate a Mother's Day gift to our resident mom.
Sly dogs. Yeah, but
yeah, she doesn't exactly like getting gifts for herself, but doing something for our boy, she'll definitely appreciate.
Yeah.
Anyway. We're really glad to have you on the site, Nate. So we're really
Thanks,
glad.
Man.
So go donate as much as you can. It's for a great cause, and yeah, we really hope you hit the goal soon, Nate.
Knowing this community, I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
So, folks, if you haven't already, go sign up on lifeisstrangefans.com. If this
come join us.
Yeah.
Come join us. Find us on there.
And yeah, that's it. That's the entire episode.
Do we want to? We have a bit of our schedule's been kind of funky.
Yeah.
Which our listeners, I'm sure, have noticed. Do you want to talk about next week?
Next week, I don't think we're going to be doing anything next week because I won't be here.
Right.
Yeah, I'm
I'll
getting my wisdom teeth out next week, so I don't think I'll be able to talk
I'll be out
for the weekend.
Joey's on the podcast.
So the week after that,
just going.
Yeah, it's kind of up in the air. But the week after, we'll be back, but we got something in the works again.
Yeah, working on it.
In order to find out like when what it'll be, we'll have announcements on our Twitter page. and our Tumblr, and also we have an Instagram page now.
Yeah.
Oh,
which
wow.
is exciting.
Finally!
Yeah. Jessica bugging me to make one for months, so now she's in control of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go
So
follow
if you
the
guys ever want to
Instagrams.
talk, I'll be on Instagram because that's pretty much what I do in my free time. So it's just Blackwell Podcast, right?
Yeah. Just
Blackwell
podcast.
Yep.
We can afford the O this time.
And I'll try to remind Jamie to put the link in the description.
Already is.
All right.
So many links.
Then the week after our next episode will be the first weekend that I'm in Africa. So we might have a couple weeks. I don't know. We haven't figured out what we're going to do about that yet, but we'll keep you in the know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to Africa.
So yeah, we got to wrap it up, man.
Yeah. So the whole YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe, yada, yada, yada. Join us on Life is Strange fans.
Go
Follow
show
us.
these lovely people.
Yeah.
Hey, we are
As always, we love you,
Yeah.
our listeners, so much. It's this whole community. We love you guys. Go Bigfoots.
And we'll see everybody next week, okay? Bye, everyone.
Bye.
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 Bye.